So I saw a post today where this girl said that the hierarchy as it is being destroyed in order to be replaced with a newer hierarchy that claims they care about equality, but they don't see everyone as equals. Change is the only constant, first. Secondly, as time goes on, because I'm very open to evolution, because let me tell you, I have lived as many people in this one life, and the more that I change into different versions, the more variety of experiences I have, the more full my life is. So I try not to get stuck as like one version of me. I try to continue to change, because it just feels like I'm getting like my time's worth in this life, you know, like more experiences, more ways to experience life. Anyway, point is, ultimately, the soul's eternal, so really, I mean, to be real honest, nothing matters other than the experience you're having. However, I just want to share a perspective with anyone that might see that post, or even the person that made that post, or anyone that thinks like that the hierarchy we have now is being destroyed, and the people forming the newer hierarchy say they are for equality, yet they don't see themselves as equal. Well, through my observation, what I've noticed is there is a hierarchy that is the power structure, which is based off of how much money you have and power and control over the masses. Then there is a hierarchy that is more spiritual, as in intelligence, intellectually and emotionally, and how you treat others. So, you know, how much self-discipline and self-control do you have? Are you able to not be a hypocrite? So both of these are hierarchy systems. It's just that one is based off of money, power and control, and the other is based off of basically maturity and intelligence, both intellectually and emotionally, having self-discipline, having self-control, and being considerate and respectful for the quality of all life. That's the difference. Now, when it comes to the hierarchy regarding the spiritual aspect, so that would be mental and emotional, maturity, self-discipline, self-control, this one, well, when you look at it this way, you're looking at it as if Earth is a school for evolution regarding mental and emotional maturity and being able to be considerate and respectful for the quality of life for all. So treat others how you want to be treated. Be mindful that you will reap what you sow. And with this one, you're looking at things more like life, like Earth is a school, and you have those that are less evolved and those who are advanced human beings, and then everything in between, because we all start the same and we all end up the same. So we're all in this journey, which is an evolutionary process, and we're in different places in this process. And so you have those that are kindergartners, and then you have those that are seniors, and everything in between. And when you look at it this way, because it has to do with mental and emotional maturity and empathy and self-discipline and self-control, well, the ones that have mastered this, the seniors, they're not going to do things that are going to make people sick or cause a lot of suffering or destruction. They want to lead people to becoming advanced as well, emotionally and intellectually. And more often than not, they're not hypocrites, because they treat others how they want to be treated. They're mindful that they will reap what they sow, and they follow this natural law. and they live a healthy, harmonious life. So these people, instead of looking down at kindergartners, like the way that the power structure we have now looks down at those in poverty, instead of looking down at the kindergartners, they want to be tutors. They want to be teachers. They want to help lead them so that they can be seniors one day as well, so that they can also graduate with high honors and go into higher forms of education. Now, of course, I said the way the power structure is now, they look down on those in poverty. I don't mean everybody at the top. That's not what I mean. There are some at the top of the power structure who do look down at people in poverty. Also, I said within the spiritual hierarchy, which is mental and emotional, the seniors do not look down at the kindergartners. However, I'm fully aware that the power structure, which is financial, and it has to do with power and control, they also teach the people that are going within it, just like students as well. So I guess bottom line is, in the spiritual aspect of it, it's not so much based off of money and being power hungry and having control over the masses. It's more so about restoring life on this planet, improving the quality of life, not making everything about money, but making everything about good morals, honesty, trustworthy, healthy, harmonious, improving the quality of life for all. So it's two different hierarchies with two different intentions, two different purposes. One has to do with money, power, control, and they will destroy to get what they want. That doesn't mean everybody in the power structure is like that, because obviously we have to have people in the power structure that are going to do what's righteous in order to keep it in balance. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that are a part of the we're all part of the spiritual evolution, but the people that take the spiritual aspect more seriously are in the power structure, making sure that we keep balance and things do not get off balance too much. Now, I know that there are people that believe in spirituality as in like darkness. Okay, so let me explain this. So we talk about light and dark, when ultimately we all have light and dark within us. When it comes to these spiritual groups, the way I see it, it has more to do with frequency versus light and dark. Even though some people will correlate that with frequency, and you can. Light is going to be a higher frequency, dark is going to be a lower frequency. So when it comes to this, there are those in spiritual communities that refer to themselves as darkness. Just through observation, what it seems like to me is that these individuals are functioning at a lower frequency, and they do things to lower other people's frequencies. Now, and if they can get someone low enough, well, then they can reign above them. So the way I see it is, a lower frequency is going to act as a gravitational pull, like a suction to a higher frequency. So when there's someone functioning at a higher frequency and they are around someone functioning at a lower frequency, that individual will be able to lower this person's frequency, the one that's at a higher frequency, through thoughts, words, actions, behaviors, what they do to that person, what they put that person through, abuse. People that function from a lower frequency, they do so because of their thoughts, words, and actions. And somebody at a higher frequency, if they allow that person to negatively impact them, it's going to lower their frequency and it's going to drag them down. Because when they say misery loves company and be mindful of your company, be mindful of the company you keep, and then in the scientific community, they have proven that there are things that we cannot see or hear because of the frequency it's at. We are all vibrating at a different frequency. So lower frequencies can drag down higher frequencies. And vice versa, bitch. And if they can drag them down low enough, they can have power over them. If they can drag you down lower than what they are, they can have power over you. And so, you know, we talk about the left and the right within the power structure, but like I've said before, race don't matter. Being left or right does not matter. Religion doesn't matter. Nothing matters except the condition of your soul, which is your mental and emotional state, which determines the frequency that you function at, which determines what kind of experiences you have. If you're functioning at a higher frequency, you're going to be healthier and you're going to pull in more blessings and abundance and positive experiences. And if you're at a lower frequency, it's going to be the opposite. Ultimately, the power structure doesn't matter. Nothing matters except frequency. And what frequency do you want to function at? What kind of experiences do you want to have? And so, yes, there's people that will call themselves dark forces, and typically these are the individuals that lie and manipulate and abuse people and take advantage of people and do smear campaigns, and they're very degrading and disrespectful, and they mock people, they bully people, they do things to drag people down. Sometimes they'll say they're casting a spell, but really it's a group of people lying and manipulating and trying to control how other people see an individual. And then they do things to that individual to manipulate their mind and to abuse them and take advantage of them to make them feel horrible about themselves, sometimes even suicidal. And they instill fear in them by threatening them, and they do all this so they can control them. Again, they pull them down. And so everywhere in the world, religion, politics, government, power structure, everything, even the spiritual community, dark spirits, light bodies, all of this, it just has to do with frequency ultimately. Thoughts, words, and actions, and whether a person is living a healthy, harmonious, abundant, blessed life or an unhealthy, destructive, cursed life. So when people talk about dark forces, they're talking about a lower frequency. And when you function from your lower mind and you're functioning at a lower frequency, you're going to exist in a state of hell. Because you're going to face many unfortunate events over and over and over because you can't liberate yourself by elevating your frequency out of hell. And then higher frequency is going to be like the Holy Spirit in the kingdom of God. Pleasant experiences, blessed, abundant, healthy. And honestly, I will never understand why anyone gets attached to limited beliefs that require them to limit themselves to a lower frequency, as in darkness. Because every human being has the ability to evolve and ascend. So why choose hell if you can exist in the kingdom? I don't understand that. But oftentimes it's because they're limiting their mind, they're limiting their beliefs, they are attached to a status or certain attention they get or something of that nature, typically. It's unfortunate. But I guess, we all are exactly where we need to be in the evolutionary process for our soul to evolve the way that it needs to. That's just a way to perceive it, you know? Undoubtedly, humans are not equal. Undoubtedly. Both financially and spiritually. We are not equals. People are not the same. And that's, you know, that's common sense. It's just more like, what's important? Money or quality of life? And I know for people that have a lot of money, their quality of life could be better, maybe better. But do they care about people in poverty whose quality of life is not so good, right? Don't know. I don't know. I myself am still trying to figure a lot of things out. You know, like, if you live a healthy, harmonious life and you treat others the way you want to be treated, and you're honest and you're mindful that you will reap what you sow, and you're trying to be a good person, maybe you're able to receive abundance in all forms and live a great life, and really nothing matters. The power structure doesn't matter. Man-made laws don't matter. How much minimum wage is doesn't matter. Literally nothing matters. If you are trying to be a good person and you're taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and you have good morals, and you treat others the way you want to be treated, and you're mindful that you're going to reap what you sow, that might be all that matters. Because there's people that are extremely wealthy that are also miserable. So if you have a good soul, you very well might be provided for in every way to where you are abundant and having a pleasant experience to where everything else doesn't matter. And so I'm actively trying to find this out as we speak. And, you know, I guess we'll see what happens.